Welcome to episode 1 of God's God Show.
Yay!
I'm Porsha.
And I'm Jamal.
And today's episode, we are going to share all about our story. How this even came to be.
Right. How does a comedian of all people end up with a preacher?
And to be completely honest, neither one of us saw this coming. Mm-hmm. You know, this is not that so Raven. I am not Raven. I did not see this coming. But one great day in July, it actually happened to be July 1st of 2018. July 1st of 2018, we just happened to cross paths, literally cross paths on the street down in Greenwich Village in New York.
Yep. So I was actually producing a comedy show at the time, and I was trying to get people off the street to come into the show so we could actually have an audience. And Porsha and her friend Brittany were crossing the street, and I was like, "Hey sisters, got a full black lineup coming." And Porsha was like, "Oh, really?" And then kept moving. And I was like, "Okay, have a nice day, guys."
That's legit how it happened. I curbed him on the corner, y'all.
She curbed him on the corner.
Curbed him on the corner and kept walking because I was so hungry. And so my girlfriend and I, Brittany, we were looking for a place to eat. We were looking for just a place to just wind down. We had just came from church. We just came out of worship. Not my church, by the way, another church. And we heard a good word. We went to a record shop and I was like, I'm getting really hungry, girl. And so for this comedian randomly trying to pull us off the street, it was just really inconvenient to the plans I had. And the plan I had was to go eat. And so here he goes trying to get us off the street, and we just keep walking.
But luckily, halfway down the block after they passed me and curbed me on the curb, my colleagues happened to be standing in front of the comedy club. And I don't know what they said to Porsha and Brittany, but they convinced them to go inside and join the show. Unbeknownst to me, I thought it was a done deal. I thought they were gone. I thought I'd lost hope.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what they said. They said the same thing he said. We have an all-black lineup. You should come to this show. It's going to be great. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But actually, one of those comedians, who's actually a really good friend of ours, he is a graduate of Clark Atlanta University. Well, kind of. So he went to Clark Atlanta University, and he, you know, the fact that we both went to Spelman, we kind of really bonded and connected over that. And given the fact that we were all HBCU colleagues and we attended HBCUs, we just thought it was going to be a great idea for all of us to support one another in this moment. And so for me, it was like, all right, all black lineup, all right, HBCUer, Spelman, CAU, AUC, I'm in there. Okay. Show's great. Show was cool. And then guess who comes on stage?
Me. First of all, I had no idea they were in the comedy club. I was still on the corner like a night worker, like the whole time they was having this whole conversation. I had no idea that anybody was in the comedy club. And I go in there and, you know, I look around the comedy club like, oh, we got some people in there. Oh, that's cool. And they was like, hey, I know them. They didn't seem interested in all black line before, but I guess they liked it. And I got on stage, told my jokes, made her laugh apparently. And I did make you laugh, right?
I don't remember.
I made her laugh, y'all, because she here right now, so I had to make her laugh. And, you know, we became friends after that.
Yeah, we became friends. Sure. That's the part that Jamal likes to tell. We were friends. Oh, we were friends. All right. Jamal curbed me. Well, I'm just kidding. We were actually really friends. It's true. And we saw each other again at another event, another comedy show. And afterwards, we kind of hung out and we danced and we had a good time. I was with my friend again, and then we just kind of dipped. And it was like, all right, cool, great seeing you. We hung out, nice time, kept moving. Now, I was also doing a podcast, and one of Jamal's friends.
What's the name of the podcast?
Portionality. So on Portionality podcast, we had our friend Drex on the show, and Drex and I did a really, really great episode. You should check it out. It was a lot of fun.
You should check it out.
And of course, I opened it up to everybody. And Jamal was one of those people who I opened up to be as a guest. And so another day in July, we recorded the episode, and that's where we really got to know one another on a very, very personal level, because we had a lot of time to talk. And you can check out that episode 13 of Porsha Jamal Podcast, where you can hear that episode of where Jamal and I are actually really having an in-depth conversation for the first time.
And then after that, we just hung out and we went to see Late Night with Seth Meyers because you had an extra ticket.
Yeah, I did have extra tickets. I have like this way of just like getting random tickets to like random things to attend, and it was one of those opportunities that I had, and I was like, hey, you want to go? Like, we had just had lunch, and I was like, yo, you really want to come to this thing? And so Jamal came with me, and so we're at NBC, you know, having a good time down in Rockefeller Center, down in the Rainbow Room, at 30 Rock, and we had a blast at Seth Meyers' show. And then after Seth Meyers, where we had more conversation and more laughs and jokes, we actually went to a restaurant called Sean's Bar and Kitchen down by Rockefeller Center.
We chopped it up a little bit more. We realized we had a lot more in common than we realized earlier in the day. And yeah, that was like the beginning of it.
Yeah. And then after that day, Jamal and I, we stayed friends, but Jamal didn't like to talk on the phone. So I would try to like call him, and he'd be like, ah.
I'm not a phone person, no.
And I'd be like, oh, okay. So then, because I'm a phone person, so then I would just text him, and then he would text back. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much the communication we had. And then I don't really know how much long after that till we realized like that we were like interested in each other. So if you don't know by now, Jamal and I are clearly a couple.
Yeah, clearly.
It's like, so at some point, we realized we kind of like liked each other. We had a lot more interactions, but I can't pinpoint the time where it was like, I like you. Mm-hmm. I just know that we both kind of had like a mutual liking somewhere around Halloween. Mm. So between July and Halloween, we just really started to cultivate our friendship, and then somehow that like turned into something.
Ooh. Let's tell the people, since we don't know like the exact timeline, who caught feelings first?
Jamal did.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, that's the story we're going to tell, because I don't want to get in trouble.
So Jamal caught feelings first. No, he didn't. It was me. So, but this is the thing. Jamal had feelings. Jamal just didn't know how he had feelings. He knew he liked me, but he didn't know how he liked me. And to this day, I'm like, what? Yeah, so Jamal eventually grew to like me because in his mind, he spent time with me. And so when you spend time with a person, you get to know them a lot better. And I'll be completely honest, you cannot cultivate a relationship with someone like just simply like via text message. Like, that is not how you can foster a intimate relationship, a romantic relationship through text message.
It's a pen pal.
It is a pen pal. I mean, it's not to say that you can't, grow feelings for people and start to like them. You really get to know someone a lot when you're around them, and you get to see like their proclivities and their idiosyncrasies and
preacher speech. You got to see their little tiny like attitudes that they pick up when they do certain things. Like, yo, I don't like the way you scratch your eye, but like, why you do it like that? Like,
I don't like the way you.
She can't think of nothing because she knows everything about me.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something.
I'm just that awesome, guys.
So yeah, somewhere around October, Halloween specifically, which is the end of October, we might as well say November. Jamal realized that he likes me, but he didn't really know like what he wanted to do with those feelings. But
I was fronting. I'm gonna be straight up.
You were just fronting.
Yeah, I was fronting big time.
You want me, baby.
People keep telling yourself that you don't want to catch feelings, but deep down inside you want to catch feelings. So then when you actually catch feelings, you're like, oh crap, I have them now. Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I really catching feelings, or is it like, is she just really cool? I don't know.
Both.
I overthink. It is both. I'm not gonna lie. But I have a tendency to overthink things, so that's what I was doing. I was just overthinking it a lot. And eventually, it got out of my own way, and I was just like, I like this girl. I gotta cuff her up. You know what I mean? And then we were at a holiday party, and then
yeah, we were at a holiday party. Yeah, so it was like this time last year. It was holiday time, and another couple was just like, so are y'all together yet? And we were just kind of like, no. It was funny because a lot of people liked our interaction. They liked seeing us together. They liked to see us hanging out. And they're just like, so are y'all together yet? Like, are y'all a thing? What is it? And I was just like, yeah, no, we're not together. And then after, like, literally after that party, Jamal was like, so...
you want to be my girlfriend?
And I was like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I didn't say yes, I said yes.
She did. She's like, yes.
Yeah, and then we've been on this wild ride ever since. And it's been so much fun getting to know Jamal, learning Jamal, understanding Jamal. Yeah, it's really been great. And here we are on this journey together.
Yeah. And it's been my pleasure to get to know Porsha.
Aww.
And to find different ways to love Porsha. And to surprise Porsha. That's how I show my love towards her, because she's almost impossible to surprise because she's just so smart and she'll figure it out. But somehow I have just enough randomness to surprise this woman. And this is like the biggest pleasure I could ever have in life, putting a smile on her face because she didn't see it coming. The number one thing I always tell her is, you never know when it comes to Jamal Richardson.
You really don't ever know when it comes to Jamal. You think you have it figured out, and then Jamal just kind of swoops in and just does like something else. It's kind of funny, and it's true. Like, I'm very, 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 very hard to surprise. Because if I can know the smallest detail and like I'll run with it, and it's like, that's exactly what I was thinking. How did she know? Because I tell the kids at my church all the time, I'm Reverend Porsha and I know everything.
See, and I figured it out. You see, she knows everything because she's talking to the Spirit. So if you're trying to surprise somebody who's talking to the Spirit, like, how do you surprise somebody who's talking to somebody who knows everything? You pray yourself. So I was talking to God like, yo, God, I want to surprise this chick. So, like, just sprinkle a little surprise my way, you know what I mean? And kind of block it from her. And that's the secret.
Yeah. So here's to more surprises, more randomness, more fun, and more Porsha and Jamal, and more of God having all of the jokes.